building a doghouse for 2 dogs. One's about a 60-pound dog and one's about a 25-pound dog. She's not eating too much. And so I'm gonna build it 42 deep and 48 wide. So I'm gonna use some 4x4s for the base. I cut these to be 42 inches long. And I got this sheet of plywood that I have left over from another project. It's kind of wonky, but when we screw it all down, it should be straight. And so it's already 48 inches wide. So I'm gonna cut 42 inches across here, and then we'll have the base for the doghouse.
I'm going to attach the plywood base to the 4x4s.
If you don't have a nail gun, you can always hand nail this, or you could screw it with construction screws, but I've got a nail gun, so might as well use it. Alright, so I'm going to use a little math to figure out the angles to cut the sides. So you got one side here, it's 40 inches. You get one side here is 33 inches, all right? So if this is 40, then that means this is 7 right here. So we got 7, and then this is 42 inches, all right? So if you remember from trade class, tangent theta equals opposite over adjacent. My handwriting's terrible. All right, so tangent theta equals opposite of this angle, 7 over adjacent, which is 42. All right, so we take 7 divided by 42, take the inverse tangent of that, and we'll get the angle. Plug it in the fancy calculator, and we get the angle. It's approximately 9.5 degrees. 9.5 is close enough for carpentry, so that's it. We'll cut the angles for the sides at 9.5 degrees.
Next, I need to nail the framing together and attach the framing to the base. In-grain nailing doesn't really hold very well, so I'm toe nailing it also. And now I'm nailing on the roof support. I'm cutting the front and back roof supports with the same 9.5 degree angle. And attaching those as well. This lumber is left over from another project. There were some wonky 2x6s that I ripped down into 2x4s.
So I'm going to make the sides out of this siding. This is LP siding. It's an OSB product. I'm kind of doubtful about siding made out of OSB, but a lot of people have good opinions about it. So maybe I'm wrong, but you know, it's a doghouse, so 10 years from now it rots off, no big deal.
Aw, look, one of my little shop buddies came to visit me.
So I made another doghouse similar to this about 3 years ago, and it's worked out fine except for the dogs. They lean up against the walls and they push them out. The nails aren't good at resisting that force of the dog pushing it out. So on this version, I'm going to use some construction adhesive, and then I'll nail it down, and the construction adhesive hopefully will stop the nails from popping out.
I'm using this fancy siding nailer. It's a little bit of overkill, but definitely makes it easier.
Because I know the piece of plywood siding is perfectly square because I cut it that way, I'm then going to adjust the sides of the doghouse so that they are in line with the siding, and then I'll know that the doghouse is square.
pencil line is to make sure I nail in the right spot.
Of course, you can hand nail this or screw it. You don't have to use this fancy siding nail if you don't have one.
Any chance I can, I try to cut something in place. It makes things more efficient and more accurate. The writing that you see on the bottom, it's because I'm reusing a sign that I made for our local band's fundraiser last year.
The opening for the beagle is 8 inches wide. I'm gonna draw an arch with a compass. So the radius should be 4 inches. So I got the top of the arc at 10 inches from here. So I measured 4 inches down, and that is where I will draw the arc. On this side it is 14 inches wide. All right, 7 inches.
When I was like in kindergarten, I wanted to do woodworking projects, and the only electric saw my dad would let me use was a jigsaw. So I've been using one pretty much my whole life, and I'm pretty good at it now. Because I'm painting the trim a different color than the siding, I'm painting the siding first. Now I'm priming the trim. Made the trim out of cedar fence pickets, just because it was a fairly inexpensive option. And now I'm painting the trim black. Now I'm nailing on the trim.
This way I can get it aligned properly, get it attached. It'll get permanently nailed when it goes in the doghouse, but right now it's aligned.
Some caulk to fill in the nail holes. This is a tool for cutting roof metal. There's lots of other options, but I had this for another project, so I might as well use it. This is some reused sheet metal that's been out in the field at my dad's ranch for like 25 years. I decided to finally put it to some use. Now I'm just screwing the roof metal down to the framing. Time for the doghouse to exit the shop and go to its final home.
What you think, Ben? You like your doghouse? Do? All right. Woof, woof. Woof, 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 woof.